Hey everybody, how y'all doing tonight? Hope you're doing good. Kind of caught me in the middle of making a little snack here, or munching on a snack, I should say. All right, turn this volume up just a little bit. Make sure you guys can hear me. And then I need to go over here and grab this chat. Got some interesting stuff to show you guys tonight. I'll go ahead, like I say, grab the chat real quick, and we'll get into this. Hey, ooh, I better mute that. I may have to still, I am technically at work, so if I get a call, I will have to step out. Go ahead and pop the chat out real quick, but it'll only be a moment if I do. All right. Hey, Scott. Hey, Danielle. Glad everybody's here tonight. So happy. Mountain Cat. Hey, great to see you. We're going to go over a little bit of craziness I found during the day here. Then we're going to get into a theory I've been working on. So, step by step, let me go ahead and get the screen share going here. Hope you guys see I changed my little icon there. Hope it's showing the new one. Let's see, what am I looking for? That's what I'm looking for right there. Looks like I need to close an application window here. Oops. Full screen. All right. Close that application window and bring up this. All right. So I was looking earlier for orangutan, and I wasn't 100% sure on this one if it was spelled with a G at the end or not. But I typed in orangutan. It asked me if I meant N. My screen sharing, hopefully. Anyway, it asked me if I meant orangutan, which, that's supposed to be the new spelling, but dictionary.com has it listed. First one, orangutan, right? However, when you click on it, it goes over here to orangutan. So that's interesting, I thought. Also known as orangutan. How you like that down in the bottom? Can't see it. All right, so let me see what you can see. Can't see anything. So stop the screen share and do this a different way. Where is it at? Hang on, guys. Thank you for calling the Best Western Tailor. Yes, ma'am. I will be right there. You're welcome. All right, guys. Chat amongst yourselves, and I shall be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. Hopefully, you're still there with me. 7 viewers. Excellent. All right, my sincere apologies. I shouldn't have any more interruptions the rest of the night. Dead GBK, great to see ya. Thank you, Mountain Cat. Absolutely, definitely. Jimmy Jams, good to see you, buddy. Glad you stopped in. All right, let me catch my breath real quick, guys. Got a lot of stairs I got to go up and down here. All right, looks like we're screen sharing the right stuff now. So, as we see, as I was talking about, I looked up orangutan. Dictionary.com come up, said it had it. Then it gave me orangutan. But it says at the bottom, also orangutan. Interesting. So we go down a little bit further on the list here. Wiktionary, that's not exactly Wikipedia, orangutan. Wikipedia, orangutan, there was another one on here. The Free Dictionary, orangutan. I was just really intrigued that there's 2 entries here, you know? So that was a little odd. So again, I'm not 100% on this one. I'm just saying it's a little strange with the reality residue that there is, but it could be bad spelling. You never know. Dictionary.com, the rest of them could get it wrong. Or maybe it's just been known as both. Maybe that's why it's so confusing. I'm not 100% sure on that, but interesting just the same, huh? All right. So last night, we went over some stuff on the Bible, and I found some really, really interesting correlations. I wrote these down randomly as I was making my list, but as I was going through them last night, I started to see some patterns. So, for instance, I'm not sure where that one was. Let's start at First Corinthians 13. And I want to show you guys what I'm kind of seeing here. Again, I'm not a Bible scholar by any means. I have had... now that's interesting. Could be, Danielle. Very well could be. Very well could be. Interesting. So, if I could spell, this would probably be better. Corinthians, not Corinthians. And give you an idea what I'm working with here. So, the first verse here, though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels and have not charity, I am becoming the sound brass or tinkling cymbal. All through this, charity pops up over and over. Charity suffereth long and is kind, envieth not. Every time this word is used, it's replacing the exact same word, love, in this case. And I found this with more than one. Every time the word, let's do a search here for a word. If we can, see if I can show you what I'm talking about here. There might be a code in here is what I'm thinking. Matrix. Every time it speaks of matrix, it's meaning womb. Every single time. It doesn't change womb to other words. It changes it every time to matrix. The word on is changed to in every time it's changed. Let's look at Genesis real quick. There's another one I want to show you guys that's interestingly changed. Genesis 28 and 17. And this won't be all biblical. Don't worry, guys. I've got a whole lot of stuff tonight. Stuff I've been sitting on. Scott, great to see you. I'm so glad everybody decided to stop by. I really appreciate it, guys. I really, really do. All right. Genesis 28 and 17. And he was afraid and said, how dreadful is this place? This is none other but the house of God, the gate of heaven. Dreadful is not the right word there. Never in the Bible have I heard the house of God and the gate of heaven be called dreadful. Every use of this is awesome instead of dreadful. It's also used in Daniel 9 and multiple Psalms. Every time it says awesome, it's changed to dreadful and all these. So what I'm saying is we got a pattern here. We actually have a pattern forming in these Bible changes. And I've always thought the Bible changes were a little out of place anyway, compared to the rest of the the Mandela effects. I've just it's always bothered me. There's so many in the Bible, and why that particular thing? With everything that's changed, why do we keep saying huge changes in the Bible? Unless it could be a key. And here's what I'm thinking right now, guys. I'm thinking the Bible changes themselves. I'm not sure if the ones that have been changed or the words they were. One of them could be a key, a message, a coded message, or a key to figure out the rest of the codes. If the Mandela effect is working on a coded message system. I'm not 100% on this, and I know it probably sounds like a lot of crazy talk. But what is crazy in Mandela effect world, right? So that's what I'm thinking on that. If somebody has the time to go through and sit down and put these together, that would be really, really intriguing. In Exodus and Numbers, both we find ebonics, like the word we be, which doesn't make sense together. However, if you go with um, take those words and separate them into different parts of a sentence, then they make complete sense. The word pavement don't even belong in there. Perhaps that's another clue. There's just a whole lot of patterns showing up in these specific changes. As random as a lot of the Mandela effects are, these don't seem to be. And I find that intriguing. Very, very intriguing. Of course, as a theorist, we try to look at things from 15 different sides, so I could be completely wrong about this. Corn is in the Bible, all the way back in Leviticus, nonetheless. Corn didn't grow in that area. A lot of oddities that could be pointing to something else. And point on that. I just think it's really, really, really weird that we keep finding these patterns show up. We be, that is another one. Instead of we are of, it is changed to we be 3 different times in John, Exodus, and Numbers. So, give you guys something to chew on there. Every word that's changed in the King James is changed to another specific word. Like, love is changed to charity. It isn't changed to mountain or church or gorge or whatever. It's always changed to the exact same word when it is changed. So, there's you guys something to chew on for a little bit, something to think about. See what we got going on in the chat over here. Danielle says, I spell like crap. I've always prided myself in my spelling. That is one thing I've always been really, really good at. For those wondering, my webcam has recently took a dive, so I cannot show my face on the live stream anymore right now. I've got to get a new webcam. The microphone seems to be working fine in it, but when I turn the cam on, it doesn't work for whatever reason. So I apologize. I can't go with my face out right now. And that kind of bothers me, but that's okay. That's why I'm doing streams like this now. So I do apologize. And I hope you guys stick around. All right. So something else I found earlier in the week, and this is really interesting. I'm going to get to the newest news everybody's been talking about today also, but check this out. Physicists have verified the 4th dimension. Yeah, I'm talking about how good at spelling I am, and I'm screwing that all up. All right. Physicists verified. Check this out, guys. 3 different researchers or scientific scientists, 3 different groups of scientists, 2 in American, 1 in Europe, have all done the exact same study. Studies find evidence of a 4th dimension. It gets a little deep into quantum mechanics and quantum physics, so I'm going to try not to go over a lot of people's head. This is the New York Post. They've actually printed the results in the journal Nature. So if anybody's interested in that, I was told about this by an engineer the other day, and I went to do the research and was quite amazed at what I found. So see if I can find the exact experiment. If it actually shows it in here. In the experiment, scientists, here we go, right here, for those who want to follow along. I'll try to highlight it in blue, or highlight it here. Apparently this one highlights red. That's pretty neat. In one of the experiments, scientists studied the behavior of light particles moving through specifically made glass that bounces light back and forth between its edges. By simulating the effects of an electrical charge via physical input, the team observes how the light behaved, watching for irregularities that could only be possible if a fourth dimension was working behind the scenes. The other experiments used supercooled atoms held in place on a grid made of lasers. Scientists called this a set up a charge pump and used it to test the flow of electrical charge while monitoring how the atoms respond. Both experiments yielded results that suggest that a fourth dimension really is all around us, even if we can't see it. Science isn't any closer to tapping into this hidden dimension, but knowing that it is there is an important step toward painting a more complete picture of physics. And one article I was reading even said we may have to change or write a whole new physics category. I'm not entirely sure. That is one consideration, a spirit world, a spirit dimension. I bet it does tie in with time crystals, Dead GBK, because he keeps talking about crystals and lasers here and certain ways specific atoms move. Again, I couldn't explain it real deep if I had to. But basically, they did a lot of tests, and everybody agrees independently that the fourth dimension really exists. And that was put out January 14th, 2018. This was put out January 10th, the one we were actually looking at. The new Big Think, though. Big Think is a very, very huge academic site. So, scientists have proved the fourth dimension. What do you think about that, guys? And I had a theory based on this. So, I doubt I could use whiteboard on here right now. It'd be kind of hard to do. But basically, my theory being, I'm going to go ahead and turn the screen share off for a minute. My theory being, okay, a two-dimensional object will leave a one-dimensional shadow. A three-dimensional object will leave a two-dimensional shadow. A four-dimensional object will leave a three-dimensional shadow. We see in three dimensions. So, that said, if we're seeing things in the third dimension that have been changed in the fourth, we would see them changed in the 3D, because basically everything around us would be a shadow of the 4D. Let that one sink in for a minute. If something is changed in the fourth dimension, assuming that everything is just like it is here except for on a fourth dimensional scale, if I change something on the Berenstain Bears book, for instance, it would change in the third dimension. Now, how it changes retroactively, I haven't quite figured out yet. Still working on the retroactive part, but the fourth dimension would be outside of time, so therefore retroactivity would be quite possible. It could also be where the retrocausal loops come into play. Now, that is an interesting thought. You guys are listening to a madman talk live, so theorize live. This is what I do. I sit here and think about these crazy things and do research and just kind of randomly theorize on what I've been finding. And sometimes they stick and make sense. Those are the ones I go live with. Or at least make videos about, huh? So there's been a new piece of I'm going to go ahead and turn the screen share back on. I want to show you guys something else. I'm sure you've heard about it, but for those that haven't or might have been under a rock or asleep all day, like I tend to do, we might have another topic to cover. Well, we do have another topic to cover. So, guys, we all of a sudden found some new DNA out of nowhere. New DNA. Scientists just discovered a strange new DNA shape lurking in human cells. Now, we've been working with DNA for a long, long time. Stem cells and everything else. And yet, they have just found a brand new DNA with a brand new shape. Let me make sure I'm sharing here. Okay, good. It's coming up. Martha! Excellent to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Love you too. Glad you guys are all here with me. I really appreciate it. I ain't seen a whole lot from the meds group come in yet. Martha, GPK, Scott's been here for a while. I appreciate it, guys. It really means a lot to have y'all stopping by. See, we got 8 viewers right now. Excellent. So here's an article. I'm sure I know Jacob Israel covered this, and a couple of you others have covered it today. The discovery of DNA as a double helix is a hallowed story. So I'm kind of scanning here. We're still learning that DNA is a more furiously complicated piece of biology machinery than we ever knew. Here it is, right here. A team of researchers from the Kinghorn Center for Clinical Genomics at the Garvan Institute of Medical Research in Sydney. Whoa, that's a full breath. Described finding DNA as a 4-stranded knot-like structure called an eye motif. So instead of a double helix, there's these paperclip-looking T-shaped strands of DNA that we suddenly just have now. That's pretty odd to me. I get we make new discoveries all the time, and I try not to loop those in with Mandela effects, like the mesentery gland. All they did was rename a group of stuff that had been there for a while to something different. I don't consider that a Mandela effect. I consider that just a medical change in the books. So this one here, this is a little weird. Like, how did we miss this? How is this suddenly a thing? I don't understand that. It's weird to me. 1, 2, 3, 4. I just looked at my clock. It is 1, 2, 3, 4 where I am. That number pops up for me all the time. 9, 11, 11, 11, and 1, 2, 3, 4. I wish I knew the code for that to make sense. Yeah, I'm on a kind of a message coded theory kick right now. I did a video very early on where I took, if anybody wants to go back and look at that, I'd really appreciate it. It's a good piece of evidence. I took and listed all the words that had changed, like dilemma, for instance. Hold on. Oh, bless me. Pardon me. Sorry, guys. All right, so I took all the words that had been changed. And I took what they've been changed to. Usually those were small letter changes. And I tried to see what I could find. And each one was one letter change. I ended up with name is, which is kind of odd considering the data pool that I was using. Go ahead and check that video out too. That's interesting. But I got to thinking about the message theory, and I have another friend, Mountain Cat, if she's still in here, was also very big on that message theory for a while. We were discussing it earlier. I really think there could be a lot to the messages here. I'm not sure. I originally theorized maybe a time traveler got stuck somewhere outside of time and was trying to manipulate things to, get a message across. I could be wrong about that, but there could be a message coming in. And like I was saying before, it could have something to do with the Bible, and the Bible could be a key because it just seems so off compared to the other changes, in my opinion. 2 days ago, this new DNA thing came out. A while back, me and a group that I used to be a part of, and I say used to be because I just haven't joined them in quite a while, we're discussing junk DNA, and how it might be, the whole awakening ascension idea. It could be awakening new DNA strands of our junk DNA. This looks kind of like it's evidence of that theory that we had a while back. We had come up with a while back. So, very interesting there. What do we got going on in the chat over here? Particles entangle a parallel universe and retroactively too. Yes, I'm with that. Dead GBK, check out the Blinky universe. As far as that one goes, I really like that theory too, a lot, a whole lot. I want to show you guys that real quick. I've showed it in my videos before, but this is really intriguing here because the guy shows the math behind it. Well, see if I can pull this up another way. Hold on one second. Here we go. Oh, that's what I did wrong. All right. The guy's name is Richard Lighthouse, who pushes this idea. And shouldn't even call it an idea, because it's more than that. There's proof right here. It shows. So our entire universe literally blinks off and on at more than 1 trillion cycles every second, 1.1 terahertz. It is called the lighthouse frequency. The harmonics of this frequency can be used for time travel or faster than light travel in theory, travel between parallel universes, and instant radio communication to distant galaxies. He has 3 different mathematical approaches and 3 different empirical sources that all conclude the exact same thing. Our universe is literally blinking on and off at 1.1 trillion times every second. Every second. So it really makes you wonder if something couldn't be manipulated or changed, especially by CERN. Have to touch that in a minute. Especially by CERN. And if they destroy a particle that's entangled with another particle and the universe blinks out, when it blinks back in, perhaps, just perhaps, it grabs the particle from the parallel universe that closest matches ours. This is only a theory. I have no evidence to back that part of it. However, the blinking universe theory does have a lot of evidence to back it, as well as math. When you can back it with math, you have my attention, most definitely. So, wanted to show you guys that real quick. For anyone who is into the Bible changes, I showed on my stream last night this guy named Bill Bean. He's an amazing researcher. He goes on TFR radio a lot on the Kev Baker show, which Scott Harrison himself actually has a lot of connections with too. And he's posted something new right here. Check it out, guys. We're going to look at a brand new article on this site. It's called MandelaBibleChanges.com. He's an amazing researcher. He's an exorcist. He's a spiritual warrior. He's a Bible scholar. And he's been showing all the different changes in the Bible. Of course, he takes the satanic point of view to it. I don't necessarily do that. Genesis 31:34. Let's see what. As it happens, these words in most cases mean similar things as the original words they supplanted, but are different enough to render new context and messages. Genesis 31:34. Now, Rachel, okay, I'd covered this in my first live stream about the Bible changes, taking the images and put them into Campbell's furniture and set up on them. Furniture is supposed to be saddle, and images are supposed to be idols. So that's interesting. So he's going over stuff that he's already pretty much posted here. Genesis 31:37. Whereas thou searched all my stuff, what hast thou found of all thy household stuff? Of course, we knew stuff was there. Exodus, all that openeth the matrix is mine. I got to look at that in a deeper context. Go ahead and write that down real quick so we can look at that here shortly. If you guys want to stick around with me to look at stuff. Again, this is just kind of a research stream. Not a whole lot of specific topics, just a whole lot of general stuff. Matrix in Exodus 34 and 19. So I'm going to have to look into that a little bit further here in a moment with you guys, hopefully. Tea time, tea time. See how many people we got still hanging around. 7 viewers. I appreciate it, guys. Really appreciate that. All right. We got another one here from Exodus. It looks like quench the violence of fire, escape the edge of the sword. Out of the weakness were made strong, wax valiant in flight, turn to fight the armies of the aliens. I'm not sure about this one. I've seen this put out before. I'm not sure if they used alien for foreign peoples back then. That's up to you guys to decide on that one. Not a Bible scholar, like I said. Isaiah 13:21. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there. Their house shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there. Oh my God, are you serious? Are you serious right now? And satire shall dance there. Guys, owls have become a meme to me. Everywhere I go, me and my partner were talking about it the other day, and just, the oddities of it. And then you have these owls looking in people's windows, just staring. I've seen owls on handbags everywhere I turn. People in chat randomly talking about owls. It's kind of become a meme everywhere around me. I don't know if that's happened for anybody else, but definitely been kind of weird. And here it is again, owls. Having me a drink of coffee myself there, guys. Might have some tea later. Owls. That not really strange? It keeps coming up everywhere I turn. It's owls. It's really become a meme in my life. That is really, really odd. Isaiah 32:8. But the liberal deviseth liberal things, and by liberal things shall he stand. Apparently, the word noble goes in every place that liberal was. Again, we see this pattern. The word noble every time was changed to the word liberal, not a different word, but the same different word, if that made sense. I know you guys follow what I mean. Here's one that I had a problem with a couple weeks ago, guys. Easter's in the Bible. I'm going to repeat that for effect and let it sink in a second. Easter is in the Bible. That's not right. And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison, delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people. Easter replaces the word Passover. Has strong origins in the pagan religion, and fertility is the main theme. And yes, it does. Easter has very strong origins in the pagan religion because the Christian religion stole a lot of the pagan ideals and things like that. But we won't get into the semantics of religion. That's a deep, dirty rabbit hole to roll down. Again, we're looking at MandelaBibleChanges.com by researcher Bill Bean, who is one of my favorite Bible scholar researchers as far as the Mandela effect goes. Leviticus, we covered this on the stream last night. Corn. Corn did not exist then. And if thou offer a meat offering of thy first fruits unto the Lord, thou shalt offer for the meat offering of thy first fruits green ears of corn dried by the fire, even corn beaten out of full ears. If I'm wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong, but as I remember, corn wasn't even known to the Europeans until they came to the New World. That's when it entered the picture. It was not in Israel, as I remember. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. Ezekiel 27:8. Now, here's one I don't remember and haven't seen yet. The suburbs shall shake at the sound of the cry of thy pilots. What? The suburbs shall shake at the sound of the cry of thy pilots. Suburbs occurs many times now. Pilots? Perhaps that had a different meaning back then, but that's okay. Thanks, Dave GPM. Appreciate it, buddy. I'm glad you stopped by. I really appreciate you hanging out with me. Martha, maybe it's a correction to let you know it's really a pagan ritual celebration. My daughter asked us not to celebrate it anymore. Yeah, I remember you mentioning that. Christmas and Easter. Me and my partner don't celebrate either one, but we do celebrate the solstices. So we're the same way. I heard you talking about that in your stream the other day. I thought that was really, really neat. As big a Christian as your daughter is, she actually asked you not to celebrate those. That is great. If you really look into the history, the popes had a heck of a time with the pagans. They really give them a raw deal, if you will. And Hekiah, 2 Chronicles 34:22, and Hekiah, and they that the king had appointed went to Huldah the prophetess, the wife of Shallum, the son of Tikvath. Really? Do they do this just to see if you'll pronounce the words at this point? The son of Harash. I know it's foreign language word or names. I get it. The son of Harash, keeper of the wardrobe. Now she dwelt in Jerusalem in the college, and they spake to her to that effect. The scripture used to read second quarter, not college. So now she dwelt in Jerusalem in the second quarter. Huh. Interesting. I'm not 100% on this one. This does come from Bill Bean, who is a scholar. I'm not. I'm just presenting this information to you guys. Scott says, I think the same thing could be said for the corn thing too, saying it was not discovered when they say. True. Almost all these changes look like truth breaking through the lies. I agree. A lot of them do, doesn't it? It intrigues me that every time it's changed to the same word throughout, like on to in, charity or love to charity, things like that. Womb to matrix. Corn is used to slowly poison us through the food we eat by adding too much sugar. Corn is used to GMO poison us, in my opinion. I'm sure they added a lot of sugar to it, no doubt, but the GMO is the worst thing, guys. If you can stay away from GMO, please, please do. Every now and then I do eat some kind of GMO stuff I probably should not, but generally speaking, we try to stay away from that. Luke 19:23. This is one that's bothered me for a while too. I wish I had remembered to grab this before. Wherefore then gavest not thou my money into the bank, that at my coming I might have required mine with usury. See, it seems to me that if bank had been a thing, then when Jesus went in and tore up the tabernacle, he would have threw out the bankers, not the money changers that he threw out. The switch word here is bank. It used to be money changers. I would like to think over in the other scripture where Jesus went into the temple and threw out the money changers, that would have said bankers if that was consistent. Nehemiah 5:3. Hold on before we go there. Got some chat here. Oh, never mind. I already read them. Here's another one. Now that's different. I hadn't seen this before. Some also there were that said, we have mortgaged our lands, vineyards, and houses that we might buy corn because of the dearth. They mortgaged the lands for corn. I guess they went to the money changing bank to do that, right? Just really weird. And we could be pointing out things that we just didn't see before, but there's a whole lot of stuff here that just doesn't make. I showed this one the other day. Unstable as water, maybe not this particular one. Unstable as water, they shall not excel, because thou wentest up to thy father's bed. This is Genesis 49:4. Then defilest thou it. He went up to my couch. Guys, I showed that couch didn't even come into existence circa 1500. If you look up the word etymology of the word couch, it wasn't around in the biblical times. It wasn't. Seems like a lot of my nice. Seems like a lot of my streams lately are going biblical and Christian. I'm not meaning to. This is just the evidence pile that I've been looking into recently. Don't worry, guys. The evidence pile changes pretty randomly and pretty often. It just happens to be Bible effects because I've got a what's the word I'm looking for? Theory working on this. And the more patterns I can find here, which excites me if I can find patterns in this, more patterns I can find, the better off we're going to be. The more patterns we can find, I should say, the better off we're going to be figuring this out. Because that is my life's goal. For the last 3 years and until I do, my life's goal is to figure out what is causing the Mandela effect, at least a theory to explain and predict future changes. 1 Corinthians 16:15. I'm finding a lot of Corinthian changes too. I beseech you, brethren, ye know the house of Stephanus, that is the first fruits of Achaia, they have addicted themselves to the ministry of saints. Addicted used to be devoted. There's one for you guys. Devoted has been changed to addicted. Which again, it's got a lot of the same type meaning, but not really. Appreciate that, Scott. Appreciate that a lot, buddy. Do a check real quick. Oh, steady 7 viewers. I appreciate you guys have been hanging out with me. You're real troopers. For real, for real. All right, 7 Matthew, or I don't know where the 7 came from. Matthew 14:8. And she, being before instructed of her mother, said, give me here John Baptist's head in a charger. Okay, John Baptist used to be John the Baptist. I'm sure everybody knows that. That one's kind of weird to me. The is being taken out of that. Kind of odd. And on a platter. So I was speaking to a historian last night, and she was telling me that a charger was the word they used for a metal plate or platter back then. So that's not extremely strange. However, it had said platter according to this researcher, not me, according to Bill Bean, this researcher we're looking at, instead of charger. And I'm willing to buy that, being that it said John the Baptist too. I know that. Martha Jane, the more we talk about all the possibilities, the closer we get to this truth, brother. Amen. I am 110% on that. Yes. Yes. Mountain Cat, great example. Smokey the Bear. When I was young, Smokey the Bear in the 80s, guys, I know you guys remember that. Smokey the Bear. He wasn't Smokey Bear. Smokey Bear was the code language for cops in Smokey and the Bandit, the Bear. As a matter of fact, it's code language on CB all the time for police officers up ahead and whatnot. But Smokey the Bear, it's now Smokey Bear. The is gone. Gone. Just like John the Baptist, the is gone. We've been seeing the disappear a lot. And again, wonder if that can't be a clue. We're seeing certain words go bye-bye. The. That'd be one that I would mark down on my list. Yes, the Baptist, exactly. Because it was a title, not a last name. His name wasn't John Baptist. He was John the Baptist, the title, the Baptist. That one is really, really weird to me. I ran up on this last night or day before that when I was doing the research, and I presented it last night, and that one just bothers me. And in a charger, here it is right here. This was the other one I couldn't find earlier because I didn't have in marked down. So in a charger would have been on a platter. We have on switch to in. Once again, just like in the Lord's Prayer, we have on switch to in. It's switching to the same word. That is a pattern, ladies and gentlemen. It is a predictable pattern at that. Womb will always switch to matrix. On will always switch to in. Awesome will always switch to dreadful. Maybe terrible. I found one instance where it went to terrible, but generally speaking, it moves to the word dreadful. Still, we're finding consistent patterns, and that's something. Probably trying to erase baptism from history might actually do something good if you get baptized. It may. I'm not going to speak on any particular beliefs as far as that goes. The Methodists have their own version. The Mormons have their version. And what I mean by that, the Methodists believe, and I'm not trying to get into any specific religions, but I have noticed the Methodists believe that a baby should be baptized. This bothers me, guys. Personal opinion, this bothers me. Why baptize something that has no sin? The point of baptism is to wash away the sin. Yes. The corn reminds me of Monsanto and their evil GMO corn, said Mountain Cat. Yes, absolutely. It could be pointing to GMO, which means if these things are pointing to things in modern day, that means somebody in modern day is manipulating something there. And it goes back to another theory that I had, that it's all happening in real time, in modern time. We're noticing things changed in the past in real time. Is one part of the theory that I've been working for a while. But if it is referencing Monsanto and the GMOs, again, we're seeing things from today's world in the Bible. Couch, the corn, all these things. That means somebody from today's time has to be manipulating something in the past. How? I don't know. Time travel is not an option there. But it definitely has to be, you know what I mean? Based on this evidence pool. So continuing on with this article here, I'm not sure, we ain't got much further to go, a little bit. This is an article, once again, mandelabible.changes.com. This is not my research. This is research already done that I am covering. 2 Samuel 17:28 brought beds and basins and earthen vessels and wheat and barley and flour and parched corn. There we go again, guys. And beans and lentils and parched pulse. You can see the article on pulse here. Well, let's do some deeper research then. Ever heard of pulse? It is in our Bibles now. It's not what you think. Oh, wow, guys. Okay, so you can't make this stuff up. You really can't make this stuff up. Kat, you're going to love this. Check this out. Another great video below by Kat at Extol Yeshua Always on YouTube, which the movie or video is right down here. Anybody who wants to check it out, more than welcome to. She's made some very profound discoveries concerning the GMO frankenfoods that are planning for us. Pulse is one of those foods, and it's in your Bibles now. Guys, we can't make this up. We were literally just talking about this. I had no idea that was where this was going. You cannot make this stuff up. Talk about a synchronicity. The most unknown food, pulse, has been placed in our Bibles. This is a direct, okay, again, I'm reading from an article. This is not my personal opinion. This is a direct attack on God's holy scripture by the Satan effect and not the Mandela effect or the quantum effect, as it is more commonly known. This is sinister, well planned out, and premeditated. We shall see that there are many human minions in league with the demonic pulse agenda. What is pulse? Here's a short definition from pulsecanada.com. Pulses are part of the legume family, but the term pulse refers only to the dried seed. Dried peas, edible beans, lentils, and chickpeas are most common variety of pulses. Pulses are very high in protein and fiber and low in fat. What they fail to mention is that it also includes soy. Soy is worst of the bunch listed. It has been genetically modified the most. I didn't know this until a couple months ago when I arrived here and got to talking with my partner about it. And she was telling me soy is probably like the worst thing you could eat. I was like, really? She said, yeah, it's the most GMO thing ever. What they plan on doing is extracting the protein from these genetically modified crops and formulating meat substitutes for the masses, sort of the new Soylent Green. The UN declared 2016 to be the year of the pulses. 2016, guys. What a year for them to declare pulse and it to suddenly show up in our Bible. Huh. Now that, guys, that right there is intriguing. Check the chat real quick. See what we got here. The moment we are capable of functioning fully in 5D, man, there's some F's. Functioning fully in 5D. I love it. Outside of space time is the moment that all history before that can and will change. Well said, Mountain Cat. Well said indeed. And eventually, someday, we will figure out how to fully function in 5D, probably through a whole lot of meditation. Pulse Nightclub. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That was 2016, wasn't it? I need to look that up. Was it 17 or 16? I bet it was 16. See, synchronicity, said Martha, leads us to important info. Absolutely. I cannot believe we were literally just talking about that. And the very next scripture I covered took us here. That was not even planned. Like we randomly got to that point. We got off on a tangent about corn and GMOs suddenly, and then come to this verse, and it's about pulse. You can't make this stuff up. You just can't do it. You just can't. And by the way, I have checked every one of these that he's pulled. I go to Bible Gateway and I check them, minus this article as we just found it. But his work has held solid every time I've checked it. So if you guys want to check against it, feel free to. I've never had an issue with it reading anything other than what he's put in here. If we, Acts 4:9, if we this day be examined of the good deed done to the impotent man, by what means he is made whole. This verse also used to read, the lame man. The lame man instead of the impotent man. I'm curious about something, guys. You're going to go on a little research journey here real quick. Impotent, etymology of impotence. Find out when that word come into being. Because it's weird. You can look up the etymology and it gives you a different... You think if there was like a trap, they'd have all the information together. You know what I mean? Late Middle English for impudent, ashamed, modest. Oh, impudent. I didn't want impudent. I wanted impotent. Huh. It won't even give me an etymology on that. Really? Maybe it's supposed to be in. Maybe I spelled it wrong. Okay, guys, you see it yourself. Why can I not get an etymology on this word? Uni Rock, what up, bro? This one we're looking at, the good deed done to the impotent man, by what means he is made whole. Acts 4:9. The impotent man. It should be the lame man. So, really interesting there. I cannot find an etymology on impotent at all. You guys see right here, I've got it typed in. It gives me impudent, but not impotent. Now that's checking the spelling. Yeah. Etymology. Well, still, I get one letter. Still, it's not. Dang it, Google. Dang it, Google. That was my fault. So here's impotent. Give me an etymology here. 1800. See what else we can find. Make sure I got the right information here. Latin to Old French, then English. 1800 is when it really came into use. Now, isn't that interesting? But it's in the Bible, the 1600 Bible. Very, very intriguing. Yeah, I'm covering this article by Bill Bean, a Mandela effect researcher, and it's really interesting. Like a lot of these are really interesting. I covered this one the other day. It came to pass on a certain day as he was teaching that there were Pharisees and doctors of the law sitting by, which were come out of the town of Galilee and Judea and Jerusalem. The power of the Lord was present to heal them. Doctors used to be teachers of the law. They didn't have PhDs in biblical times. Then again, they had colleges, apparently, according to the verse earlier, so who knows? Doctors of the law. Now that's interesting. And Luke 13:32, and he said unto them, Go ye and tell that fox, Behold, I cast out devils, and I do cures today separated, and tomorrow separated, and the third day I shall be perfected. The original word here was healings, like the gift of healing, not the gift of curing. Also, words today and tomorrow above should not have a space in between. Correct. Absolutely correct. Poppy, hey, thanks for stopping in and hanging out. Nice, I appreciate that. We're going over this article here, and really weird stuff I keep finding. This is where I got all the other biblical changes that I've been covering on my last streams here. Then said unto him, Jonah 1:8, then said unto him, Tell us, we pray thee, for those who cause this evil is upon us. What is thine occupation? And whence comest thou? What is the country? And what art thou people? I'm not sure about occupation. This is a claim made by the author. I'm not entirely sure, and I don't see a word that it should have been changed from. So I can't comment on that one. I'm not 100. Leviticus 2:7, and if thy oblation be a meat offering, bacon in the frying pan should be made of fine flour with oil. Frying pan should be 2 words, not 1. There you go. Pretty sure that's right. Frying pan should be 2 words. Yet a lot is 2 words, and that should be 1 too. So Puppy Holmes has found some cool pictures of the globe with South America detached. We'll share tomorrow if I wake up. Now that'd be neat. That's interesting. Hey, can't wait to see that, Poppy. Hopefully I will be awake. Have a bad habit of, sleeping in the daytime. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. No, that never said aprons. Coverings, yes, that never said aprons. I'm sure of that one. I'm 110% sure of that one. I don't ever remember it saying aprons. Could be wrong. 1 Samuel 8:13, he will take your daughters to be confectionaries and to be cooks and to be bakers. Confectionaries. Pretty sure that's a modern day thing. Bakers, I'm not 100 on. But confectionaries, I'm pretty sure that's modern day. Genesis 40:21, and he restored the chief butler unto his butlership again. Make your own decisions on that one, guys. Don't think they had butlers back in Genesis, but maybe. Butlers in Genesis. Thank you, Poppy. Thank you. I appreciate that. I try to come on as much as I can when I have stuff to talk about. Right now, I'm kind of rambling biblical stuff. Again, like I was telling them earlier, this is just the data pool I'm looking at right now. My data pool changes quite a bit. Disintegral, great to see ya. Thanks for stopping in. Just now, go figure. YouTube does not like me. It really doesn't. Then again, I don't think YouTube likes the Mandela effect either. 2 Chronicles 7:3, guys. When all the children of Israel saw how the fire came down and the glory of the Lord upon the house, they bowed themselves with their faces to the ground upon the pavement. We covered this last night too. Pavement, guys. They had pavement in biblical times. I know I kind of sound like Meigs B here. Hey guys, they had this craziness, guys. I love Meigs. I'm not making fun of her. I love Meigs B. She is amazing. So cute. We have another word that don't belong here too. Besides pavement, they had highways. You know that? Remember highways in the Bible, guys? Sure, you remember the highways in the Bible, right? The king of Assyria sent Tartan and Rabsaris and Rabshakeh. I swear they make these names just so we can screw them up. Made all these people with great host against Jerusalem. And they went up and came to Jerusalem. And when they came up, they came and stood by the conduit of the upper pool, which is in the highway of the fuller's field. The conduit in the highway, guys. Mm-hmm. Oh, all right. Appreciate that then. I thought YouTube was screwing up again. It's got a habit of sending out weird notification times. It really, really does. No worries, mate. I know what that's like. I really do. I really do. I like Lone Eagle too, guys. I'm not making fun of him, I promise. Judges 3:25. And they tarried till they were ashamed, and behold, he opened the doors of the parlor. Therefore they took a key and opened them, and behold, the Lord was fallen down dead on the earth. One would expect to find parlors with locking doors and keys in modern suburbs, but not 3,000 years ago, according to the author. I think that's a very, very fair point. I'm not 100% on that. That is according to the author, but I do think that's a fair point. I hope everybody is enjoying this biblical rundown we got going here. I can't believe that I'm able to find, well, he's been able to find and document so many. I am going through an article by Bill Bean, for those who don't know, of MandelaBibleChanges.com. I do want to give credit. I don't like people thinking I'm taking credit for others' work. I want to make sure I give credit for all work that I'm using. But this was just posted yesterday, so this is a brand new article to me too. Job 33:20, so that his life abhorrent bread and his soul dainty meat. Dainty is not supposed to be there, according to the author. I'm not 100% on that. I'm not sure. And thou, son of man, take thee a sharp knife, Ezekiel 5:1. Take thee a barber's razor. I covered this 2 streams ago. Barber's razor is now in there. Oh, we got a meme here to share, guys. I might actually save that. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and save that one real quick for real. I like that. This is a good evidence piece right here. These are all words corrupting the scripture. Planets, India, organs, frying pan being put together. Haunt, daints or dainties. Chapel, poets, presidents, occupation, mower, mown grass. Didn't know they had that much grass in Israel. Stuff, aliens, satires. Palestine, Spain, exorcist, college, suburbs, banks, leasing, revenue, mortgage, cottage. Yes, guys, all these words are in the Bible. Messes, ranges, bakers, confectionaries, Easter, pulse, impotence, doctors of the law, lancets, Jesuits, addicted, barber's razor, conduit, pavement, highway, pennies, pennies. Let that one sink in a minute, guys. Pennies is an American um, um, currency. Just let that one sink in for a half a second. Apron, handkerchief, butlership, couch, charger. Charger does mean metal plate for those who didn't catch that earlier. Ears of corn, liberals, superscription, mart, and cures. All those words do not belong in the Bible, yet there they are. You guys can check out the rest of this if you like. It is MandelaBibleChanges.com, the latest post on the 24th. I'm going to go ahead and shut that down. We've covered quite a bit this evening, and I've been on over an hour now, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it short a little bit for now. Stop sharing. I appreciate everybody that stopped by. It's been fun. Kat, I love that you've been here hanging out with us. You don't get to come in much and hang out. It's been awesome. We really appreciate you hanging out here. Poppy, I never ever see you in my streams. I'm so glad you came by. Disintegral, always awesome to see you. Scott Baylo, love it, bud. Glad you were here. Unirock, I don't know if you're still hanging out listening, but I appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with me, bud. Always great to see you. All right, guys. Martha, I don't know if you're still here. Appreciate you hanging out. I always love the 24ME group and my old buddies. For those who don't know, Mountain Cat and Disintegral and myself have been researching this for a couple years now together in the in the Discord. So, seeing my old friends and this new group of people who've really been awakened and coming into this, that is absolutely awesome. The old and the new coming together. So again, I appreciate everybody for being here. Thank you guys so much. It really means a lot. I'm going to try to do these as often as I can. I can't promise anything. I'm not going to promise I'm going to do every night, but as often as I can, especially if I have information. Don't always have stuff to go with. So, all right, guys, remember always stay awake, but dare to dream. Y'all have a very, very wonderful night. Bye, everybody.